My name's Jessica Falco. I grew up in the Fredonia area. I lived most of my life with just my mother and I. She was a single mother. I did grow up going to church in my early years and got confirmed. But shortly after hitting my teenage years, I stopped attending church, unfortunately. So I had been around age 15. I had a surgery on my knee and was prescribed opiates. Eventually that led me to, at my worst time, heroin. And my addiction lasted about 15 years, starting from when I was prescribed the opiates till when it ended in 2014. It's been over 11 years. I had my oldest daughter very young. I had her at 19. And we were in kind of a custody struggle over custody of her, me and her father. And he ended up getting custody, and because I was unable to stop using the drugs. So I ended up losing custody of her, and that took my addiction from, I guess I would say manageable to I totally just lost myself because it was so painful dealing with my child getting taken away. After losing her, this is when it got really bad, and I ended up out in Buffalo using heroin. And I would do whatever it took to get more of that drug, whether it is stealing from family, selling my body, anything that had to be done to get that drug. It came to a point where I was threatened with losing custody of my second child. And that was when I decided I can't do this anymore. I cannot, if I lose another child, I will end up being in a mental institution, or I'm just going to die from the drugs. I really tried everything. I tried meetings, I had tried it all. The only thing that I didn't try was surrendering myself to Jesus, which I finally decided that was what I needed to do in order to get my life back. It was either that or I wanted to die. So one day I just got on my knees and just said, I just begged God. I'm like, God, please, I can't live like this anymore. I'm in too much pain. You know the pain I've been through, and I ask you to please just take the bondage of this addiction off of me and allow me to be able to live my life again. And from that day, I've been clean. This was the only thing that was going to work and then allow things to last. So that was 11 years ago. At the worst part of my addiction, when I wanted to die, I thought that God had forgotten about me. I didn't realize that I had formed a resentment toward God for a lot of people that I was associating with every day that had died of overdoses, and I was angry about that. And I felt like it wasn't fair that that he could have done something to prevent that. And I also felt so incredibly ashamed and judged by my addiction that I felt that I couldn't ever walk back into a church again. I remember the first church that I walked back into after my my finding recovery was in Jamestown, and it was a great church. But I remember walking up to the building and thinking, I don't deserve to walk in these doors at all. I am not worthy of it. I've done horrible things, and I felt that he had forgotten about me. He was mad at me. I thought he probably wouldn't want me in there, in the building. And a friend that I was with, this woman that I met early in my recovery, she was also in recovery from alcoholism, and she talked to me and convinced me, like, that's not how God feels, and he wants you to be in the room. I have gotten both of my children, my two youngest children, I've gotten full custody of them. I'm a single mom. I put myself through 2 college degrees. I have a bachelor's and master's in social work. I'm now a licensed social worker, and I see patients every day that are struggling with mental health and addiction. And I bought my house. I bought my own vehicle. I'm just continuing to be blessed by him every day. Even when things come up that seem like they are trying to derail the progress, he ends up turning it into something to help me and for my good. My plan is to eventually open up a rehab facility in this area to help our area with addiction, a long-term Christ-centered rehab. With all the pain and trauma I've been through, I would go through it again to get to where I'm at right now, to be able to help someone else.
Okay. You were talking about your baptism.
Yeah. When they put...
Just say, I got baptized again.
Oh, are we doing this?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna add it. Go.
Okay, so shortly after I came back to church, when I was in recovery, I decided to get baptized again because I needed to make that commitment and have that expression of my faith. And when I was baptized, it was a true life-changing experience. It was actually dying and coming back to life. And when they put me under the water, I know it was only a second of time, but it felt like much longer than that. And it felt like I could have stayed under there forever. And I actually felt myself die and come back to life. When they went to pull me up and stand me up, I wasn't able to feel my legs when they stood me up. So I really, truly feel like I was brought back. I truly feel like he ended my previous life and gave me a new life in him. And it was just one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in my life. And I would suggest anybody that is on the fence about getting baptized, I would highly suggest to do it, because if you are having the thought that you want to do it, there's a reason for that. So I would definitely suggest just doing it, and it will change your life. It will be a pivotal moment in your journey with God. I know what it's like to hate yourself. and I know it well. And there was a long time where I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And just to think of someone else suffering like that, it just hurts my heart. And I just want people to realize, even if they've done things like this, that is not who they are. That they are still worthy. You're still worthy of saving. You don't deserve to live like this anymore. You deserve so much better. And God wants that for you.